On one level, I was drawn to be part of this film because I wanted to be in a film. And I thought after hearing the script that not only would I be able to be in this film, but that it was a film that had some meaning to it, that was, had a social context, not just an entertainment context. And one of the things I also liked about the script in particular was the Hitchcockian gaslighting aspect of some of the characters, one of the characters in particular. And that really appealed to me in terms of the story and an interesting story to be a part of, as well as a meaningful story. So originally, I was asked to do the part of Lance, and when we were reading the piece on Zoom, I did that role a couple times. And then when another actor came on board, Gustavo ended up playing Lance, and I got to play Tom. And, both of them are juicy parts. And I really appreciate what Gustavo did with the role of Lance. He's maniacal and crazy, but you see that he really believes what he's doing. The character isn't just trying to be mean for the sake of being mean. He really believes that he's being somehow wronged. And I think Gustavo did a really good job of that. And now that I got to play Tom, of course, I'm wondering, wow, well, how would I have dealt with that role? Would it have come out the same? Would it have come out different? I feel in some ways Tom was an easier role because Tom's a witness. Tom's just reacting to and being in the moment as opposed to the role of Lance, which is really the inciting event, the catalyst of the whole picture. So, as Tom, seeing what's going on and first not realizing, not believing my eyes that two people I grew up with could maybe be as dysfunctional and sick as they are, that was a really real experience to go into the shoot and, be friends with people and then to see it unravel and really feel that, the character should do more. But what can I do as Tom? Is this really happening? Am I, really seeing this? Why doesn't she want my help? Why is this guy that I've known most of my life acting this way? So, although the role of Lance may have some other turns or layers to it in terms of how to be in that role, the role of Tom then being the witness became more emotional in that I really saw this unraveling and that questioning of should I do something, shouldn't I do something as the character became a very real experience. So I know as the hours went on during the shoot, not only were we all becoming more tired, but I was also getting more and more nervous as this story developed and things got more tenuous and potentially dangerous for the characters. I think one of the main truths that I learned, and this may seem sort of superficial, but I tend to think of artists as more evolved humans, which, may or may not be correct, but I come from a family of artists, and there's a certain self-awareness I think that you need to make art of any kind. And so the context of this piece with them being musicians, being in a band, and having this artistic relationship, and then this whole other really dysfunctional aspect coming into that or that that environment could have this dysfunctional aspect. I expect with artists, especially musicians, okay, drug problems, that's, typical. But this domestic violence aspect of it, I wouldn't have expected in that context. But obviously, this sort of domestic violence can happen in any context with any people, no matter how much you think that they wouldn't be doing that kind of thing. So that was the main sort of epiphany that I had in terms of this particular piece. I think that the message of the script, if you see something, say something. I think that Tom's silence, Tom's apathy, Tom's not believing his eyes or what he thinks is happening is one of the main issues. Silence is condonement. So I think that as citizens, as human beings, we need to step up and say something if we think that something's wrong in any context, whether it be the transpersonal, the intrapersonal, etc.